Hey guys, what if you were chasing after yourself, trying to catch yourself with something that yourself's in? What if you were a tub of popcorn trying to catch popcorn in another popcorn container? That's what we're going to draw today, and we're going to draw it right now.
Here we go!
All right, Wonder Friends, we are going to have a lot of fun illustrating this one. We're going to do a thing of popcorn trying to catch his runaway popcorn in a popcorn container. Now that sounds really complicated, but it's going to be a little illustration that we're going to tell a story of and all that stuff like that. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it. I want to remind you of a couple things. Number one, you're going to draw different than me. You're going to draw just like you. That's what makes this cool. You're going to make mistakes when you draw, and you might get frustrated. Or you might think I go too fast. All of which are okay. Just get a new piece of paper or rewind the video. No big deal. Nobody will pay attention to that. But we're going to start with our page sideways. And we are going to draw this popcorn chasing its own popcorn. And we're going to tell a story with it and have a lot of fun. And we're going to start with the shape of it. I'm going to start over here on the left-hand side. And we're going to start with the container kind of like this, okay? And I just want to connect that. We're going to keep this very simple because the focus really is going to be in the storytelling on making sure that this popcorn looks popcorn-like. And I'm going to give this popcorn, you may have seen some popcorn containers that are kind of square and they have this little bit of like a curved top to it, these little bumps like this to make it look a little bit cooler and all that stuff like that. I'm not really sure why they do it, but it's kind of a cool looking icon-ish kind of thing. And then I'm going to draw 2 circles on it. Okay, and then in this, you know, we're going to have the mouth. That, of course, we know that we can tell a lot of story with the mouth. I want to do this kind of bean shape is what this is. Think about it like he's worried, right? And we're going to have this kind of look of worry on its face. And then I'm having it running towards, right? So you can see how we have this leaning a little bit, which shows it's moving in that direction, okay? And one of the ways that we can do that is we can have one leg coming this way. Okay, so you're going to draw one straight leg down and give it a foot there. And then the other one, we're going to have curved back just like this. And what this is it shows it's running now. A simple illustration here, just stick figures, right? We're just drawing sticks with little bumps in the end. I really want to tell the story with the main character being the focal point and not worrying about all the other stuff, because drawing hands and feet, they're really difficult, but this is a great way to kind of focus really on the character and the story. I want to draw one arm coming out here. Now, if you think about you're going to have, like, you know, your arms are going to be, if you turn sideways, it's not going to be all the way at the edge, right? Our arm for this one would be like right here. We're going to draw it coming to the same spot, just like this. Now, remember, our goal is that it's going to be trying to catch its own popcorn in another popcorn container. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw an oval right there. And all that is like, think about the actual, like if you're holding a bucket or something, that's what we're going for here. And then I'm going to draw some straight lines down here. Now what makes this difficult is because we're kind of mixing 2 different things here. It's like this kind of has a 3D kind of look to it, but this is a very flat thing. I wouldn't worry about that. It's not a big deal. You can always change all of those things because people will forgive those types of stuff when you're making cartoons. It's more about focusing on the fun storytelling part of it, and that's kind of what we're going for here. One thing to think about is you can add in like a little circle kind of design on here. Some sort of design on this kind of shows that it's a popcorn container. You think about anytime you went to the movies, although we haven't been to the movies for quite a while now with all this other stuff going on, but you think about it like the containers kind of have stripes or some sort of design on it. You can do the same thing with yours. I'm going to put a little tongue inside here, because why not? Now remember, our action is trying to catch it. So we really want the focus to be here because this is kind of like the joke, right? That it's trying to catch its own stuff, right? So what we're going to do is we want to make sure that our character is looking there. So you make sure that the eyeballs are pointed in this direction. And when you do that, you can kind of start to see it come together, right? Now, one of the big things that we can use to tell the story of this popcorn is its eyebrows, right? It's going to really share the emotion of it with the eyebrows. So to get that worry, we're going to have one coming up like this. And then let's have one kind of flat. So it's kind of like this mix of worry and I'm going to catch them, okay? And then I'm going to color those in. So now if you want to change the shape of your eyebrows, that's fine too. I just did these like little, you know, almost like hot dog type of shapes just because they're nice and bold and they show a little bit of that, you know, kind of vibe to it. I'm going to put like a little oval here on my guy also. And then almost I'm going to put some stripes on there too. And the reason why I waited to do the stripes is because once all of this stuff is on here, it's easier to make sure that the stripes go, because obviously we don't want to overlap the stripes with the eyeballs and different things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with my thinner marker, just put some line marks down just like this. And don't worry about it if anything overlaps. You know, you can always, you know, redraw it, change it up any different way that you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to put one more right there. Now the big part is the popcorn, right? We want the popcorn to be falling out. Way that we can kind of do that is you don't have to draw each individual kernel. What you can do is at the top, you can add like some just shapes like this, right? Where the story starts to kind of tell itself is when we add some pieces falling out, okay? Now, the way to do a popcorn piece, you know, it's kind of like if you put a circle shape like this and then put some like bumps on it. So it ends up with this kind of shape, okay? And when the way to kind of make it look like they're falling is different sizes, kind of turn them when you're redrawing them. You know, if you think about popcorn, when you eat it and stuff like that, it doesn't always look exactly the same. It's kind of like snowflakes. Each piece is different. So don't get obsessed with it not looking exactly the same as the one that you did before. But you can really kind of, you know, play off of having some fun with it. You can, you know, have some little lines on it. If you have some falling kind of lines, these different things like this really help sell the whole story of what is going on with this little character. And, you know, he's trying to catch himself to save himself, I guess would be our story. You can come up with this thing. You can come up with a cool name for him. Maybe his name is like, you know, Popcorn Paul, and he really doesn't want to give up his popcorn. So he's going to kind of chase all his popcorn. But everything, what happens is that the more he runs to catch the popcorn, the more stuff falls out the top of it because he's so full of popcorn. So it's kind of like he's doing this never-ending game. Now here's a great way to kind of show this character. Again, we draw a ground line, but you can do that also with some shadows. And a shadow really can just be a simple shape just like that underneath. It kind of really shows this character has, again, weight to it, so it looks like he's running on something, all that good stuff like that. And you could always put on some ground lines also. When you put that ground line on there, it really kind of gives him some sort of thing. Notice how I angled that? It kind of helps with the story that he's running downhill, all that good stuff like that. If you want, you can even put shapes like this in the background, which would be like hills or any sort of extra stuff to give, you know, your character some sort of environment that he's running in. All of those things help make this more believable as you're telling a story. So you can add all those things, change all those things, you know, do anything that you want with it. I really want to just encourage you guys to start exploring how you want to tell your story in the way that you would like to tell it when you draw these things. have a good time with it. All I'm really doing is just trying to help you get the ball rolling as you start to tell your stories and all that good stuff. So make sure that the last thing that you do before you start coloring this, and if you want to color just like me, it's really simple. At the end of this video, I will pause the video. I will show you a slide that how I ended up finished drawing or coloring this in, which you can pause it and color just like me, or even better yet, you can get out your crayons, markers, all good stuff like that and color just like you. But the last thing that you need to do in this is you need to sign your name on it so everyone knows who made this awesome piece of art. Hey guys, hope you had a lot of fun drawing that kind of weird drawing, right? Could you imagine if you were trying to catch yourself in a container that was yourself? The confusion of being that, all that good stuff like that. That's kind of what we did here. We were telling a story through pictures. What other stories could you tell with this exact same idea? Could the popcorn be eating popcorn while watching a movie? Think about all the things that you do with popcorn and then take your character and put it into that form. That's what illustrating is. Tell the story that you want to tell. And that also goes with life in general. If there's something that you want to do and you want to write that story, then go for it. Maybe you're the first one to, I don't know, want to walk on the moon in your family, then guess what? You can do that. I was the first one to want to make cartoons and tell stories, and guess what? I do that now. Those are all things that are possible just by trying to do something, writing the story that you want of your life, because you're the only one that can have it. I can't wait to see the fun that you have and the fun that you create with this idea of popcorn. Think of all the different ways that you could change it up and add your own story to it. You can come up with a whole popcorn family that grew up in Colonel Fields, that grew up to be a movie star, and now, I don't know, slam dunks popcorn, and there's caramel popcorn too, and cheese popcorn, and butter popcorn. Think of all the popcorn. There's so much you can do with popcorn. You can have fun with it. And speaking of fun, make sure you check out the next video, because you're guaranteed to learn something that you may not think that you can draw right now, but with a little bit of help and a little bit of practice from you, guaranteed that you will be able to master it. I'm sure you will. You'll do it. You can, because drawing is fun.
Hey Wonder Friends, I would love to see the art you create and feature it on one of my videos. With the help of an adult, take a photo of your finished art and post it on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Don't forget to tag me so I can find it. Hey, are you looking for a signed copy of one of my books? Check out my website, wondervillestudios.com, for books, t-shirts, mugs, and more. I also do loads of school visits and would love to hear from you about scheduling a visit. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out all the other fun drawing lessons. Until I see you, be the weird you want to see in the world. See ya!